It's Conduit News Radio with Paul Harrell.
Things called Small Business Spotlights. We want to highlight Arkansas business owners. We want to show you that they're the backbone of this state and of this economy. And one of those people, one of those businesses is Omega Guns, based out of Russellville. And Mr. Wade Bailey, owner of Omega Guns, is back with us. Wade, welcome.
Good morning, Paul. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. Real quick, I know we've had you on before, and I actually love to get your opinions on, issues of the day and everything else. But I want to make sure everybody understands what it is exactly that you do, manufacturing these roller lock weapons, these replicas, and just tell us a little bit about that and how you got started in it.
Well, I've been around guns most of my life, and always had a love for German rifles and the HK platform, and started making parts and accessories back in about 2000, and that's when I formed my corporation. And I was living in Arizona at that time. And back in 2006, we moved out here to Russellville, Arkansas, and transferred our corporation. About 4 years ago, I had the opportunity to get into building complete firearm weapons from the ground up, and so we make roller lock. They're called roller lock guns. They're clones of the HK MP5s and the variant. Most notable firearm that's been used worldwide for law enforcement and military. We build them. We have law enforcement here in Arkansas that uses them as duty weapons, as well as around the country. We've done a couple small builds for military contracts, and we have a lot of great customers across the country that are good law-abiding citizens.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Now, do you guys give a discount for law enforcement and things like that?
Law enforcement and military, active and retired, do get a discount.
That's fantastic.
The discount varies a little bit depending on what gun it is and how much profit we have into it. But yes, we do give active law enforcement and retired law enforcement military discounts.
Folks, the website, if you want to go and check it out, get the telephone number to contact Wade and to ask about what he can do for you, is omega-guns.com. That's omega-guns.com. That's the symbol, not the actual word spelled out. So, Wade, tell us a little bit about how do you think things are going right now economically? We had the amazing GDP report. President Donald Trump's leadership is, I think to most people, being seen as the catalyst here. What are your thoughts as a business owner here in Arkansas?
Well, from what I've seen so far, and feel like I'm experiencing, I'm liking what I'm seeing. People have money and seem to be spending it, and so we've had, I think, some pretty good numbers here so far this year, especially since President Trump said that he was going to do what he did on with taxes. So I'm kind of anxious to see how my taxes go this year compared to previous years when I get to file corporate taxes. But I think I've had, normally during the summer, that's our slow time, and we've been pretty steady. I think we've had a busier summer than we've had in a lot of summers past. So I'm looking forward to, right now it's season starts up here after kids get in school. So between now and 1st of October, is when typical gun business picks up and really is active. So I'm looking forward to seeing if it continues on and grows here, and we have a real good busy season this year.
How many employees do you have again, Wade?
Right now, 4.
4 employees. That's fantastic. I'm just curious. What are your thoughts on, I know there's, you being in the firearm business, there have been, according to the left, their statistics are way skewed, but all of these unfortunate tragedies where you have somebody going into a gun-free zone and murdering a bunch of people with firearm. The left believes that the answer is to restrict people like you. That's really, and really people like me who just want to own a gun for, self-defense. What are your thoughts on their solutions to curb gun violence?
Well, I've often said and think that, if you set a gun down on a table in a room full of people, that gun's not going to make anybody a criminal. So only a criminal is going to do something. Doesn't matter how many laws you make or how many laws you pass. Only a criminal is out there to break the law. When they pass laws, just like the Clinton ban, that most people know as the assault weapons ban that lasted for 10 years, the Clinton imposed back in whenever that was. You couldn't have a gun over with a 10-round magazine. Couldn't have folding stocks. You had to have some hold stocks. You had to have all these dwarfy regulations that some states still kept after the assault weapons ban was lapsed. And the law-abiding citizen sits there and goes, I'm not a lawbreaker, so I'm going to abide by the law. If they say I can't have a folding stock, I'm not going to have a folding stock. If I can't have a legal gun without more than a 10-round magazine, I'm going to do that. The criminal, there were still people out there shooting people with 30-round magazines and illegally converting machine guns, and because that's their job. Their job is to break the law. So instead of imposing laws to limit the law-abiding citizen, the courts, I think, are one of the biggest problems because they don't impose the laws that we already have on the books. And they were slapping these criminals on the hand and processing them and putting them right back out on the streets, and prisons are making them better criminals. Mm. So we need to enforce the laws that we already have and strengthen those laws so that the law-abiding citizen has the right to defend themselves, and that the criminals are put away. If you kill somebody and it's outright a first-degree murder and it's proved, I think you should be put to death. It's we need to it costs more to house a prisoner than it does to put your kids in college. Something's wrong with that system, and our courts have allowed this to happen.
We're talking with Wade Bailey. He's the owner of Omega Guns. Like you said, like you heard him say, he's been doing this for a while, since 2006. And so he certainly is a successful business owner. He knows what he's doing. Wade, recently, and I don't mean to harp on the gun control thing, but here in Arkansas, there's some talk of the Republican legislature passing red flag laws that would basically strip somebody of their right to own or to keep and bear arms, based on an allegation. What are your thoughts on red flag laws? Again, it just goes back. Only person that's going to harm or interfere with is the law-abiding citizen. We have plenty of laws. There's only so much you can do to predict or prevent someone that's going to do something bad from doing it. You're starting to get into the what was that movie with Tom Cruise that was he was the Minority Report. Yeah, the Minority Report. I mean, that's what you're starting to, you're getting into thought crimes. It's like, oh, we see that you're going to do this, so you've got to be stopped. Yeah. There's a point where you've got to have an action before you have a reaction. And that may sound ridiculous, but you haven't broken the law unless you commit a crime. And right now there is no deterrent for youth and people to want to go out and commit crimes. It's drive-by shootings to initiate into a gang. It's just a thing to do because you want in the because it's easy money. There's no deterrent for doing that. Back in the old days when they hung criminals, the families and the kids, it was, they mock those pictures now where you have the families and the children standing by the guy hanging from the tree. But I'll tell you what, I guarantee that made an impression on that little kid. And most little kids would sit there and go, I don't want to be that guy from the tree. Let me ask you this, as a gun manufacturer, do you already have like a ton of regulations that you have to comply with? Oh, yeah, I try to keep a good rapport with some of my local ATF, and there's one in particular that I probably call a couple times a month and talk to her, confirming regulations, because there's so many regulations. She a lot of times has to even go to higher ups or Washington D.C. to confirm what I'm asking, because she doesn't even know, and she is an ATF agent. So there's lots of stuff that we have to deal with and make sure our I's are dotted and T's are crossed to stay within the laws and regulations. But yeah, there's
I think the ATF regulation book is close to 1,000 pages.
Wow. Okay, so I just wanted to make that point that in a lot of ways you guys are already, regulated to death, and then of course they're trying to pass regulations more. I'm sure they really would just love to put what you do, they'd love to put you out of business entirely. On a different note,
Absolutely.
Wade, I'm just curious. Are you excited at all? I mean, I'm starting to become a little optimistic about tax cuts here in Arkansas. I'm not quite there yet. I'm still maybe glass half empty, but so far the proposal, even though I may disagree with some of the, tax shifting or whatever, so far the tax task force is recommending a proposal that would be a, net reduction in revenue to the government. Now, whether they come back and try to make that up with other bills, that remains to be seen. But as a small business owner, I mean, I'm assuming, would love to pay less taxes, state taxes here in Arkansas.
Absolutely. I always kind of get a kick out of, I don't travel a lot, but I have been to quite a few different places, and I'm always amazed at how much taxes we pay here in Russellville. Well, I think we're 9%. And I go back to Colorado where I grew up, and I think the tax rate's like 7% in Denver.
Wow.
I mean, we pay a lot of taxes here in Arkansas, and I don't think a lot of people really realize it. And I'm sitting there going, if they can make it up there with that, why? And of course they've got the hemp sales up there, which they're making buku money on, but their tax rate on everything that you buy is less than in the big cities than we are here in the small towns, and I don't know where the overhead is.
Yeah. Well, Arkansas is a real poor state, I mean, that's the bottom line is. Now whether or not,
Yep.
And here's the question, are we poor because it takes almost $8,000 per person to fund our government? Is that why the people are poor? I think the answer is yes. When Oklahoma and Texas, they're running their government for $5,000 a person. That's a big deal. Go
It
ahead.
definitely doesn't help anything.
Yeah,
Sure.
exactly. I think it's a direct implication. I mean, I think because we've put so much emphasis in a big government that's why we have 1 million people out of 3 million people who are on Medicaid in this state.
Yeah.
Like I think there's a direct correlation there, and so that's why I think if you leave more money back into the pockets of the people, and you were to, let's say, reduce the corporate tax here in Arkansas or eliminate it altogether and treat all businesses equally, I mean, I think you're going to attract a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of jobs based on, people wanting to provide a product or a service for a profit and create jobs because of it. And that'll be more money in the pockets. More people can buy your guns, Wade.
Absolutely. I mean, that's when you put money in people's hands, they spend it. That grows businesses, that grows profits, that creates real money for a government if they would run it correctly. And we have gas tax. I don't know. We pay 50-some cents a gallon on gas tax. So I was of the understanding that's supposed to go directly to keeping our roads. That's the purpose of the gas tax. But it seems like we don't have enough gas tax. We've got to be getting money from the federal government or someplace to keep our roads going and sell bonds and sell all these things. And well, what are they doing? There's a lot of gas that's sold, and that's a lot of money that's generated right there.
Yeah.
But put money back into people's hands, and the people spend it, and that grows, things prosper in the free enterprise system.
That's exactly right. Hey, Wade Bailey with Omega Guns. Folks, check him out. It's omega-guns.com, and you'll have all the contact information there at omega-guns.com. It's always great to talk to an Arkansas business owner, Wade, and I appreciate you very much.
I appreciate you.
All righty.
Yeah.
Folks, we're going to take